the HLT up and make the beer down the road. Wow. Welcome friends, we are back in the brew house and it's another Stovetop session where it all started for me and my brewing career. By popular demand, the girls who follow the channel have demanded Alex to return, all two of them. And yeah, so it was about a year ago we did Hazy Jane, wasn't it?
A year, yeah, it's gone very, very quick.
It has gone
I've
quick.
I've learned nothing.
You've greyed a bit more.
Oh, that's true. You put on weight.
Yeah, he's greyed, I put on weight, everyone's happy. And do you remember much of the process?
No, none at all.
Brilliant, great start. Anyway, so yeah, so today we are brewing a clone of Beavertown's neck oil, which is another favourite of yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it, nice.
Beavertown not popular in the craft beer community for reasons I won't go into now. Selling out. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to do this. It's going to be different to the Hazy Jane, obviously, because it's not cloudy. It's, you know, so you need to be slightly more on top of certain parts of the process and equipment and additions to get that nice clarity. Basically, the process is very similar to the Hazy Jane. In fact, probably 90% identical. This one, we're going to take it to the next level, and just with 2 or 3 parts of the process, the first of which being temperature control. So during fermentation and also conditioning in the bottles as well, we're going to control the temperature to keep it at a nice steady temp. Unlike before, where we just did it in the airing cupboard with all my pants. So yeah. And then also we're going to take it to the next level with some of our ingredients and additives. We're going to use some gypsum. We're going to use liquid yeast. We'll talk about the ingredients in a sec. And possibly a protofloc tablet as well, but we'll come on to that a bit later. Are you raring to go?
Yeah.
The equipment that we're using, from left to right, we used a basic pot last time. Now we've got a nice shiny 10-litre brew kettle. You don't need to use this, you can just use a basic pot. It's got a temperature gauge and a little ball valve on. Obviously we're not in a kitchen, so we don't technically have a stove. We've got this sort of little, well, whatever the hell you want to call that thing. So we've got a siphon, we've got a mashing net, we've got a temperature probe. That's a good one, gives you fairly instantaneous readings. Got a spoon to stir. We're going to bottle this brew, not keg it like the last one, so that's a bit of a step up. I always find it handy to have a spray bottle for your sanitizer for just smooth application. And of course the fermentation bucket and airlock.
This can go, we're not sort of keeping everything sanitised to start with, are we?
No.
Stick it anywhere we like.
That's a very good question. I know you don't need to sanitise at this stage because we're going to be going through the mashing process and then boiling. Everything that's potentially nasty in there is going to get killed off anyway. The ingredients for this brew, it's pretty much one of our standard clone kits. The hops, the malt, sanitizer, and of course instructions. On the left here, we have a few things we're mixing it up with. Because we're using bottles rather than a keg, we are using carbonation drops because they're super easy as plop a drop in.
Ploppy, son of Ploppy.
And then siphon the beer in. Job's a good one. We're using gypsum. Gypsum's one of the step ups we're taking this time. It has various benefits. For this particular brew is just to enhance the hop qualities and hop character of this brew, as obviously it's all about the hops. We're using a wet yeast as opposed to a dry yeast this time, again just to step it up. Alex will be activating that in a sec. And we are using bottled water. Bottled water's good. Obviously beer is 98% water, and depending on where you live, you might live in a soft water area or a hard water area. Different water profiles suit different brews, so we're going with a nice neutral water and adding the gypsum, and that is all we're doing with this particular brew. Just talking to Alex in the office bit.
Hey.
Look at that, what is going on there? Can you hear it? We have a unit ghost. We have a brewnik ghost. I'm getting the hell out of here, you can brew your own beer. Would you like to activate the yeast?
Yes I do.
Do you know how to activate the yeast?
Pour it in?
In there, no.
Sorry.
In there is a nutrient pouch, so...
In here?
Yeah.
Rip?
There's various benefits using liquid yeast, one of them which is that they start a bit faster if it's liquid, because they've got a nutrient pouch in there, so the yeast wake up from their little siesta, start feeding on the nutrient, the pack starts swelling because the little yeasty boys start emitting CO2, the nice swollen pack a bit later on when we pitch it, and they'll be going in there hungry and ready to party. So yeah, you need to find in there. You've got a little pouch about yay big. No, you don't open it.
What?
The yeast, because they've been chilled, they're all asleep. So we want to wake them up, give them their breakfast, so they're ready to start.
Little massage.
Yeah, give them a little massage. Find that bit, and you want to just whip it with your fist like that a couple of times. What? So you need to find that. I knew this would be good material. It feels like it's. I think it's there. Do you want to do it? Bit firmer. That'll do. That felt good. Feel good to you? Yeah, I think you've done. Oh, hang on. Have you done it?
Pretending it's your head.
There you go. Did you hear that pop?
Yeah.
It's all in the technique. Finger job steel, boy. Finger job steel. All good?
Yes.
Cool. Right. So you cock that up. Let's put that to one side for now, shall we? Let's put the gypsum in the kettle. We're almost at mash temp, aren't we? A little bit over at the moment, but when we put the malt in. Nice.
How much is this bag
This is
worth?
extra pale. How much is it worth? Good question. About £1 in terms of cost. Yeah.
Of all that?
Yeah, that's £1. Malt is a 25 kilo sack of malt. I mean, if you're buying retail, you'd be looking at about 40 to 50 quid, but wholesale, well, I'm not going to divulge that information. Make that porridge.
Familiar smell.
It's great, isn't it? It's a lovely smell.
I'm actually not a fan.
Shut up.
I'm not.
Right, that's it. This will be Alex's last appearance on the channel. Yeah, we're mashing for an hour, and what's our mash temp? 66. So you want to keep this as close to 66 by turning it on and off as you can. All right? And luckily, we've got the 2 thermometer approach. You've got obviously the digital one, and we've got our gauge as well, which is just dropping from the strike temp.
Yeah, we are 67 right now.
Nice. Right, Alexander, I've just clued you in on when we're up to.
Thanks, Timothy.
We're sparging now, right?
Yes.
So finish the mash out, and you're going to lift the net out. And now we're going to rinse the last goodness out of those grains. It's going to be quite hot, obviously. Mm-hmm. This is a nice hack for brewing bag. Slip that over like that. That's it. Try and keep it up so it's all going in the kettle, rather than sagging over the sides like a muffin top.
You'd know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, our sparge volume is 3.5. And we are looking for 6.5 litres of wort in total. It's called wort now. W-O-R-T. Some say wort. I don't like wort. Wort sounds very witchy. No. Right, if you keep it there, I'll grab the first of the sparge water. It's very cutting edge, what we have here, the technology. Do you want to open the bag up a bit? I mean, you could just do it through the bag, but that's a lovely compact little grain bed you've got yourself there.
You're welcome.
Yeah, rinsing those sugars off. Oh. Some people say that squeezing the bag leads to astringency. I think that's a load of cod's wallop. Yada yada yada, just squeeze it. I've never had a bad beer that I've squeezed the bag and found it astringent. That's sparging, baby. As soon as we have a nice rolling boil, oh, there we go. Boil established. Right, it's time for hops 1. Alexa, set timer for 1 hour. Hops 1. Oh yeah, Alex it's too much for him, the stress and the strain, so he's going to have a lie down.
I'm coming.
There you are. Oh yeah. Go on then, in they go.
Is that all you want me to do?
Yep, just dump them in. Nice. Let's have a nice stir as well. So we said earlier about using a Protofloc tablet to make the beer as clear as possible. The rule of thumb is about 1/4 to 1/2 of a tablet per 23 litres of wort. So I reckon I'm going to 1/4 of a tablet, what, about 60 grams, 65 grams? So I reckon, given it's only a 5 litre batch, probably only wants to be about 0.20 of a gram. I'll see if I can even do that. That crumbles quite nicely, actually. That'll do. That'll do. It's quite handy to have a few taps on when you're brewing, is it?
It's not the worst thing in the world.
You're welcome. Right then, Alex, nearly the end of the boil. We need to start preparing something now, which is a vital part of the brewing process. Do you have any idea what that might be? And the golden rules of brewing?
Sanitisation.
Sanitisation, that is the number one. I think if you're just starting out, I think the first thing you want to make sure is you've got sanitising well and truly under control, some good sanitising granules, or foaming sanitizer, and then after that probably a nice stable fermentation temperature. Those are the first two things, I think. I mean, you kind of take sanitisation, good sanitary practices as a given with brewing, but it's, depending on the size of your brew system, it can be several hours. Like Ed spends about half a day cleaning his stuff. Half a day. It's crazy. So yeah, good. I'm glad you remember that. So let's go on with, well, we've already got some chem san in here, which is going to be good. And we need to, yeah, sanitize the temperature probe, sanitize the scissors, basically anything from this point onwards. We can't put the yeast in when the work's too hot, so we have to get it down to south of 25 degrees to be able to pitch our yeast.
And is it best to cool it down quickly?
Best to cool it down quickly. It just minimises the window when something nasty is going to get in there and cause an infection, which basically means the beer is shagged. Right, Alexa, stop. Right, let's cut the power. Nice, nice, nice. And then straight in. That's it. That's the way to do it. So let's do this for a couple of minutes, okay?
What,
a couple of minutes. Yeah, you're moving it around and just keeping it, you know, so as much of the work comes in contact with the cooler outside of the pot. It's going to help bring it down to temp as quick as possible. And while you're doing that, I'll go over and get some sanitizer solution ready. And by sanitizing, we just mean make up a sanitizer solution, stick them in there for 5 minutes or so, and then if you're transferring from wort to sanitizer, it literally just needs to go in there for 30 seconds or so. Looking good. That'll do. Right, lid on. Make sure it's completely down all the way around, otherwise you'll make yourself look rather silly.
Sillier.
You did earlier with that yeast outrage. That's it, finger over the hole and give it a good shake for a minute or two. See the difference in the yeast packet now? It's like a pillow. Just get that in the sanitizer as well. It's a bit snug in there. There we go. As long as the top's done, we're fine. And the scissors. Okay, we're there. Release the valve. There we are. Nice. Sanitize the lid.
You need a bigger table.
There you go. Put the lid on. Give it a shake. Yeah, we do. We can get rid of that now. Right, so make sure your fingers are not. Make sure your thumb's nicely sanitised. There we are. Yeah, he's good. Right, so give him a good shake. I'm just trying to aerate it now. Yeast obviously like oxygen, so shake it for about a minute. Yeah, just like that's perfect. I'll get rid of this for now.
Really?
I don't know. Last time I did it one of these, I tipped it all over me. See what I might.
Come on, Donald Pump.
Jesus.
Oh!
That's bad. That is bad. Oh, now that is a blooper. Right. Houston, we have a problem. We're not using the whole packet, but this is good for about 20 litres, so we'll probably use about 30%. Okay, so just whip the lid off. All right. Pitch that hungry, hungry yeast. That's it.
On?
Yep. There we are, he's in.
When do these go in?
They go dry hop on the last 4 days or so.
Right.
Just put a little bit more sanitizer in there. But that is literally it. Well done. This is literally a fridge controlled by an Inkbird, which are about 25 quid, with a 1 foot heat tube, 2 plugs, one that operates the fridge, one that operates the tube. And it's going to sit in there at 20 degrees for about 8 to 10 days until we dry hop.
1 week later. Three days later.
So that is extra pale. So how they got it slightly paler must be that they maybe used some dextrose. So they, I don't know, maybe used 90% malt and then made up the rest of the fermentables from dextrose, which is what you can do. Dextrose as in just sugar. So rather than throwing malt in, which makes it maltier and slightly darker, dextrose obviously is white, so it's just sugar, so it's gonna will make it paler. Anyway, that's the theory. It smells good, doesn't it?
It smells great. From what I remember from the original, that's close.
Do you want to sniff it next to the original?
Very, very close.
I think it's slightly danker actually. The original. I reckon our clone is more fruity.
You do?
Yeah, I think so.
Due to what?
Well, it's just going to be hops. Could be all sorts of manner of things. Could be freshness of hops, quantity of hops. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's a nice aroma.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a taste.
Let's do it. Cheers.
Chin. Happy weekend, folks. That's decent.
Yeah, it's a nice beer. It's tastier.
You reckon?
More, yeah, I do. It's more sort of, it fills your mouth a bit more. Sort of hits every part of the tongue. That's what she said.
Try it next to the original.
Okay.
I'm interested. I didn't realise the actual original was slightly cloudy. I thought it was dead clear. Right. But it's not. So.
Could it be different out of a can than it could be out of a tap?
Possibly. I doubt it though.
Right. I've forgotten which one's which now. That's the original. I think the one we brewed, bit more of an IPA. Mm-hmm. Has that sort of
slightly
extra taste, that extra almost bitterer taste.
I think it's slightly bitterer. So I think maybe more bitter, bitterer, whatever. Bring the English teacher down. I reckon maybe slightly dial the dry hop back then to be in line with that. I think the original is a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. But if you gave me that and didn't mention Beavertown, I'd be well happy.
You brewed it.
It's nice. It's a good beer, that.
It is good. So to come clean, I did cock up the siphoning process. I think our clone would have been clearer had it not been for me almost knocking the fermentation bucket off the box when I was siphoning it.
You called me the clown. I'm the clown.
I almost lost my shit as well when I did it. It was late, I was running tired, I had a sweat on. just basically just getting very angry. And I was just obsessed with trying to get it as clear as possible. And yeah, obviously a bucket that had a dry hot beer in it, it's going to have a lot of sediment at the bottom. But, I'm happy.
You've done a good job.
No, I think so. I think that's pretty close. I mean, like I said, that is extra pale malt, so you can't get any paler than that, other than by adding dextrose to your fermentables.
We brewed a tastier beer.
Yeah. I reckon that's better than the Hazy Jane we did.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think is it a tad, like you said, more hop character and a tad bitterer than the original.
More bitter.
A tad more bitter. Tad more bitter than the original.
I think bitter is fine. Honestly, bitterer. You just can't say more bitterer.
You're going to be bitter when I knock you out in a minute. Shame I haven't got any more bottles for you. Because of my little knocking the fermentation bucket off the ledge, I only ended up with 4 bottles. I do believe honesty is the best policy. I didn't want to bullshit you guys into thinking that it'd been perfect, because we all make mistakes.
That's not life, is it?
It's not life. I say that's damn good for a clone. I think that's really, really good. Yeah. I'm going to tweak the recipe very slightly.
Are we doing it again?
No, I'm just thinking, we sell this kit. Come on, get with the programme.
Alright, sorry.
So yeah, we sell this kit on our own shop, brewbroshop.co.uk, no big deal. And yeah, I think I will just tweak the recipe very slightly, might just add a little bit of dextrose and just dial the grain back very, very slightly. And maybe lose a couple of grams per litre on the dry hop and maybe 5 to 10 IBU. I think it's about 35 IBU, I think the recipe, which I think, that's a bit international bittering unit. How did you know that?
I just knew.
You've obviously read it since you arrived in the building. You've obviously read it since you arrived in the building. I'm glad that finally my wisdom is starting to rub off on you. Anyway, so I might dial back the business maybe by 5 IBU, maybe 10 max. Anyway, it's a cracking brew. It's a great clone. Get stuck in. If you like oiling your necks, this is the one for you.
Adios.
He's been Alex. I've been Tim. Take care. So you can see what's happened to that one because we've opened it. All the CO2. Right.
Sorry.
That'll be on the outro.
Don't.
Why?
Gross. Right. Can you do like a split screen with both like that?
Yeah.